Landy. I'm come from Bramcote on the way to Derby.
I'm Edward Landy. I live in the same place.
I'm Adam from Beeston.
Daniel from Beeston.
I'm John from Hucknall.
And I'm Matthew from Hucknall as well.
So Adrian come from Sheffield.
Richard come from London. Scott Parsons from Milton Keynes.
And I'm Matt Parsons. I came from Sheffield.
My name's Andrew and I'm from Wollerton.
I'm hoping we're going to win, but I'm thinking it's going to be a draw, 1-1 draw with Jimmy Spencer getting the goal.
I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Jimmy Spencer with one and maybe Hollis with the other.
I think Ronan Murray's going to score and it'll be 1-1 and then a bit of a sweat next week at Oldham.
2-2 today with Ronan Murray scoring 2. Literally, it's painful. I'll take a 2-1 win definitely. I need the 3 points and I'll go for Jimmy Spencer scoring 2 goals.
Just avoid defeat, and Jimmy Spencer, fingers crossed, keeps us going to the end, mate.
I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be tight and a 1-1 draw. And I fancy Murray. I think it's going to be 4-3 to Notts.
Good man.
Last goal winner by Spencer in extra time.
3-1 Notts, Hollis, Spencer and McGregor coming on a sub.
With 2-1, Jack first, then Spencer.
Remaining confident because I think we can still win. We've got a good record at home recently, and I think we've got a good record of pulling out the out of this time of the season before. I'll go for a 1-0 win for Notts, and I'll say Ronan Murray's going to get the goal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be one of the worst moves for quite a few years if we got rid of him after the end of the season.
Defo.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think so, yeah. He's Notts through and through, and he's got that fighting spirit that we need.
Yeah, definitely. He's supported the club as a boy and he's got the passion that they need to take into the next season.
I really hope so. Even if we fail, I hope so. I believe so, or if he's got the Manchester United job, fair game.
Yeah, 100%, regardless of what happens.
And should be.
Hopefully, yeah. Either way, I think he should stay on, hopefully, and I think he will be, yeah. I think he's got the backing of the fans on the board, so.
Alan Sheehan by a long way. Like, even though he's obviously a left back by default, but when he's been going centre back, he's just been unbelievable, winning every header. And I think he's been one of the few players that's actually stood up and continued to be a leader all season. So yeah, he's been impressive.
I would definitely go for Sheehan as well, because he's just consistently, wherever he's played centre back or left back, he's played very well for us.
Alan Sheehan, 100% every game, and that's what we like at Notts County.
I'll definitely go for Alan Sheehan. He's putting the pride and commitment every single game. He's got the passion and he really wants the club to stay in this division.
Say no more. He's answered the question.
I'd say Gary Little. I think he's made such a difference since he came back from injury. I'm going to go with Gary Little, even though he's only played about 10 games. Who's the guy with magic from Scotland? McGregor. If not the goalkeeper, because otherwise without him, I think we'd be big trouble.
Grealish for me. He had a quiet spell in about a couple of months ago, but he's been brilliant all year. He beats defenders every week.
I'd say Grealish has been our best player. Sheehan's been the most consistent, and because he's permanent, I'll be swayed to give it to him.
Player of the season, I think, will be Alan Sheehan. Obviously, he's the skipper. I think he's settled into the captain's role really well. And I think he's just been most consistent. I think he's dangerous going forward, but I think he's been solid at the back as well.
I think my earliest Notts memory was a 3-2 winning against Huddersfield at home here. I can't remember what season it was. It was probably about 8 years ago now, but I was pretty young. So yeah, I just remember as soon as that happened, I was just hooked, and then we started coming non-stop after that. So
probably one of the most memorable for me was actually when we survived relegation. I remember that. It's like the last day. I just remember that. Yeah, it's a great day, really.
Well, his earliest will be coming with me when he was 3 months old. My earliest is coming with my dad and my granddad to see Notts County against Liverpool. And it's so long ago I can't even remember the result.
The 2 Wembley playoffs that stick in my mind. Great days out. 2 wins, 2 promotions. What more can you ask?
The last day of the survival season when they stayed up last time, 2005 season.
I used to live in West Bridgford, and one of the Notts players was a few doors down from me, so I kind of used to stalk him when I was at school. So that's my happy memories.
I'd say 1-0 against Sunderland here about 34 years ago. I think I was about 6.
Winning 3-2 against Oxford, early 90s, in our first game.
4-4 against Bristol Rovers, Mark Warren in the last minute, your strike, mid-90s, 95 I think.
My earliest Notts memory is the last game of the, I think it was the Division 3 winning season under Sam Allardyce. We beat Rotherham 5-2. I think that was my first game, so it was a good game to start off for Notts.